No one's BW story is the same and all start at different points within the undergraduate experience. This is what makes it the quiet before the storm.
Funny story, actually.
So this is actually a really funny story.
Funny story!
For some, BW was always seen around as an option, and for others, BW was heavily pushed as an option.
My parents actually made me apply to Kent State and BW.
My brother graduated from here, and a lot of people from my church graduated from here. And I wanted to stay local, close enough to where I'm able to go back home and go to church.
And someone who works in admissions now was kind of like a mentor to me. And she was like, you're going to BW.
My grandma had actually passed recently before I started applying for schools, and it was just a really hard time for me. And I kind of viewed her as, like my sunshine, my rainbow. And after I had visited BW, there was actually a rainbow in the sky. So I kind of viewed that as, my sign that this was the place I was meant to be.
The BW introduction that I feel like doesn't get enough credit is the introduction that didn't start at BW.
Okay, so actually what had happened was I originally never applied to Baldwin Wallace as my anything.
So I overheard about BW, but I didn't really know anyone who went there.
First choice was HBCU, plenty HBCUs.
Did my little research on it. I joined their Snapchat and BW admission Snapchat, and I was looking at all the things or whatever. And then I forgot about it completely, and I was like, okay, well, that's a cool school, but whatever.
Eventually, every prospective Yellow Jacket has their moment where they cross paths with a university. And that is when their BW story begins.
I took a visit. It was also COVID, so things weren't the same. And I liked the university from what I could see and what I did know and the things and the people that I did meet. I applied to BW, came back for fall break, visited, loved it, ended up coming here in the spring, and that's how I got here. And I've been loving it ever since.
So I applied, I did not tour, I didn't know anything about BW, and it was getting close to crunch time, and I was like, I need to make a decision. So I ended up at BW.
For financial wise and the scholarships that I was getting, that it would be better to stay in school. So school in Cleveland, so I decided to go to BW.
And it had popped up on my Common App, and I was like, I'll apply. I don't really know much about it, but we'll see what happens. And here I am.
So I ended up touring my junior year and just immediately felt this sense of home. So I ended up applying, and I'm very glad I did.
And even though the acceptance decision is all the same, the reasoning behind it is always its own story.
I loved the campus. It was really beautiful. I liked the vibes of the area. I liked that it was more of a hometown, kind of smaller campus.
It's like your home away from home, I like to call it, because I feel like it's just something you know.
This includes some of the reasonings being more realistic than what you usually hear from incoming undergraduate and college students.
If I'm being completely honest, it was the best choice financially.
They gave me a good chunk of tuition. They paid a good amount of it. So.
The real answer is the financial aid that I received, because just because they were able to give me the money that I needed in order to come here and just be able to thrive.
However, this doesn't mean that other concerns just go to the wayside when it comes to a future of diverse experiences.
They have a really good speech and language pathology program, a 5-year program where I can get my bachelor's and a master's.
And I felt like if I went to a university that harped on and had a culture of diversity, that maybe I could find that place and find a place where I fit and was welcomed.
It's very clear that once you're a part of the BW family, you're treated like you've always belonged here.
I really need somewhere that's a home away from home. I'm really close to my family, so I just needed something that had still that same sense of I could find a family here.
My parents went here, majority of my family went here. And just kind of hearing their stories and how, they felt at BW.
I just fell in love with the culture. I just feel like we're very different.
What made me stay is the community and the people.
And it makes a difference when you're able to look and see yourself at every level of your university.
I am Tamika Rashid. I serve as the Vice President for Student Affairs here at Baldwin Wallace. That is the oversight of our division that encompasses over 10 departments of co-curricular support, which is outside of classroom management.
I am Dr. Randy Congleton, and I'm the Chief Diversity and Inclusion Officer here at Baldwin Wallace University, and I also lead the Center for Inclusion.
My name is Courtney Robinson. I am the Associate Director of Cultural Programs, Inclusion and Belonging here at Baldwin Wallace and the Center for Inclusion.
And you can truly see that the faculty here have the experience to best represent themselves in an impactful way here on campus.
I've been at 5 other institutions prior to BW. They've all were different. Some were small schools, community college, larger universities, commuter universities. So I think for me, I've been able to show that I'm a generalist, which is basically kind of a jack of all trades.
With my PhD, I moved to Pittsburgh and began working at Chatham University, which is a small private liberal arts institution in Pittsburgh. And there I was doing work, really beginning and burgeoning their diversity inclusion initiatives. They were doing some work beforehand, but I was actually the first person to be hired to be in an official position.
And I love working in higher ed because you get to meet young people at a really pivotal time in their life where they're getting exposure to a lot of things for the first time, and they're also doing a lot of self-discovery. And so to play a part in that journey for a young person means a lot to me.
And with a support system like that already here for you, students are bound to experience numerous moments of success.
I got the cool opportunity to do a show at Playhouse Square, which was honestly a dream come true because I've been in Cleveland my whole life and I never thought that was something that I could do.
Oh, becoming student body vice president. Come on now.
One of the things I was most worried about coming in is I would not be doing well in my classes. And since getting here, I've maintained a 4.0 GPA, and I've just been really proud of myself.
Being a part of Detroit 67, that was something that I will forever remember and be honored to have been a part of and be so grateful for.
So like those challenging classes, like looking back now, I'm like, wow, I really did that. Like I'm a scientist.
Maintaining my 4.0 GPA, really proud of it.
I'd say my greatest accomplishment is finding who I was as a person.
I think finding myself, I kind of came to college and thought I was who I wanted to be, you know. I was full grown, I knew who I was. But then you get to college and you learn that you have so much growth to do.
And with growth comes experiences with the good and the bad. It would be just too easy if everything was sunshine and no rain. And just when the sky gets a little too quiet, the sky opens up and a storm starts rolling in.